What's up guys, Sean from Srkcycles. We have an awesome video. I want to fill you guys in on how to buy your first motorcycle. This is for you new guys, how to buy your first motorcycle. And the first place to start is how to choose your first motorcycle. And here's how we're gonna go. First, you gotta do research, guys. You gotta dive in. The person who knows the most, they're gonna make the best decisions. So do your research. 2, we call this in the Christian community, seek wise counsel. Talk to people. Ask people that know what they're talking about. Don't just talk to your idiot buddy who has owned a motorcycle 3 months longer than you have. You can talk to them, but just put a certain amount of weight on that. Talk to guys who have been riding for a long time. You're like, hey, I'm looking to get my first bike. What do you think? And preferably, find someone who's not financially incentivized depending on what bike you're going to buy. Figure out what type of riding style you plan on doing. Are you going to be a sport bike rider? Are you going to be a cruiser bike rider, an enduro bike rider, a dirt bike rider? Just figure that out and then go into that thing. Now, another important thing is to figure out what your buddies are riding. If all your buddies are riding sport bikes, and I wouldn't recommend getting a super sport for your first bike, but if they're all riding sport bikes and you go and get a Harley Davidson, you're not gonna have as much fun as if you were all riding the same bike. So definitely keep that in mind. Another thing is try to convince your buddies to all get the same bike. I talk about this all the time. If you have a Grom, like that little fella right there, if you have a Grom and all your buddies are riding super sports or Harleys or adventure bikes or enduro bikes, you're not gonna have very much fun. They're not gonna have very much fun riding with you. It's not gonna be that enjoyable. But if you all have the same bike, let's say you all have Groms. Let's say you all have $1,400 Amazon bikes. Let's say you all have, 1980 Kawasaki 440s. If you all have the same bike, you're all having the same fun, the same troubles, and everything just becomes awesome. I wholeheartedly believe that. Let's go to the second part. How are you gonna pay for this motorcycle? That's something you guys gotta figure out, and there's a couple different options, some you might not know about. One, the best possible option for acquiring your first motorcycle is if you can get it for free. Now, okay, that's a dumb idea, right? Listen, there's a lot of old 80s, 90s, 70s bikes sitting in someone's garage, sitting in someone's backyard that you could possibly obtain for free, and it needs a couple $100, maybe $500, new tires and carb clean and stuff like that. That is very possible. I bought a bunch of them myself. I've gotten them for free myself. That stuff's out there. You're doing those people a favor. The second thing is trade and barter. You can possibly trade something. Let's say you have an old car you don't drive anymore. Hey, maybe someone has a motorcycle, doesn't want a car, you can consider trading it. My first motorcycle was not really a motorcycle, but actually a moped, and it was a 1970-something Gorelli 49cc, and I was working for a guy for about a week. I was pulling out all his burn hazel or poison ivy or something like that, and he's like, I can pay you a couple $100, or I can give you this thing with 2 wheels and a motor. And of course I took the Gorelli because it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. So you could trade or barter services. The other thing is cash. I think cash is one of the best, unless you get it for free, is one of the best possible ways to buy a motorcycle. It's the cheapest way to buy a motorcycle compared to the other options that I'm going to tell you right now. The other option is just financing. All right, this is if you don't have the money, but you want to buy it now. The best way if you're going to finance, go to your local credit union. Go to your local credit union, get finance, get the check from them, take it to a dealership. The other option, the credit union way is going to get you the best interest rate. The other way is to go to a dealership and finance it right there. The worse option is if you are a subprime, if you don't have very good credit, go to one of these subprime lenders. It's gonna cost you a lot of money. If you're gonna do that, pay the bike off as soon as you can. Deliver pizzas, do whatever you gotta do. Do not have that loan for more than a year. You're gonna spend 5 times as much of the value of the bike for that. The worst possible option for most people, for 99% of people, is a lease. When you lease a motorcycle, lease a used motorcycle, you're making payments, $200, $300, $400 a month, but then by the 2 years are done, they take your bike away. So I think that's one of the worst options. There's a few rare circumstances where that's actually a good thing, but chances are for you, it's not. Now you guys know what bike you're gonna buy and how you're gonna buy it. Now the question is, how do you find the bike that you're looking to buy? A couple different options. 1, friends or family. Talk to friends or family. Chances are you might have a buddy, you might have an uncle or someone who has a bike that they want to get rid of for cheap. That might be a good option for you. The other option is Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace has kind of replaced Craigslist for buying local things. And the reason that happened is because it's not anonymous anymore. You can actually go on there and be like, oh, we have a mutual friend, or they went to school with this guy. And it kind of puts a face to the name, and you kind of background check and be like, oh, this, we have common things, common interests and stuff like that. So that's another good option. If you're doing Facebook Marketplace, it's easier to buy stuff and to get a good deal on stuff if you have cash in hand. And if you have cash in hand at a time where no one else has cash in hand. Let's say, when am I most likely to post something on Facebook Marketplace? When I get home from work. Chances are the banks are closed. If you're like, all right, I got $2,000 to spend on a motorcycle, keep that $2,000 in your house in a safe spot, safe from your wife, so keep that money. And then when that listing comes up at 6:30, bam, hey, I got cash, man, I'll come up right now, $1,800. That's a good way to get a great deal. Local dealers, stop by your local dealer, see what they got, see if they have any good deals. Make sure you don't just walk into a dealership and assume that they've got a good deal. Price check it. Price check it online, see if there's a cheaper one, in the next town over. The other option, possibly the best option, and this might be partial because I'm the owner of Srkcycles, is check out Srkcycles.com. We sell hundreds of bikes every year. We have the biggest inventory in my community, 80, 90 bikes. Always get new bikes, but we will ship these bikes to you and we back up our products. Guys, that wraps it up. I hope that gives you some good information on how to buy a motorcycle. If you have any questions, throw it down below. We'll see you guys later. Subscribe.